Hey everyone, Alex coming at you. I just wanted to come on and do kind of a little bit of a spotlight video on a couple of bands that were led by this guy, Robert Cox from the UK, from Suffolk, specifically on the east coast of England. The first of which is the band The Same. This is their only record that they put out. It's from 1981, Sink or Swim. An album that I recently acquired, and that is sort of the impetus for making this video now. I'll showcase the other records from his other band here shortly, but The Same. Again, led by Robert Cox. Here playing with his sister as well, Rebecca, on vocals and marimba. We got a couple of keyboards players, a guitar player, and so on. And part of also why I wanted to make this video was sort of in response to Fred Big Star 1000's recent video on Fourth World, his Gimme 10 Fourth World records. He kind of went into some of those, John Hassel inspired type, records that, really sort of conjure up the idea of, imaginary, faraway places and things like that. And I think both of these bands and Robert Cox, specifically really kind of embody that. Interestingly, right from the UK, albeit from the coastal area of the UK, and certainly a sound, and again coming up at the same time that bands like Woo, which I know Dom has, he has a whole video on that band, and a band that I really enjoy as well. But I think I like these two bands a little bit more, just very much in this sort of in a similar space. And I really like what I read what Robert Cox said, specifically about his band The Same. He said that it's essentially a British psychedelia. It's folk music meeting technology and going bonkers. Man, I think that it really kind of sums up well, kind of what the philosophy is, not just again with this band, but also with the other band that I'll talk about here in a second. So, again, this is the Robert Cox's first project, and the only record they put out under this name, The Same, and again with kind of a little bit of a larger group. Here again, the instrumentation, it is guitar based, but certainly using the guitar in a very unique way. This is all instrumental music. I think there's a little bit of wordless vocals on side one. Side two almost conjures, sort of, like early post-rock, American post-rock that you would hear, in the 90s in the U.S., things like, Jim O'Rourke and early Tortoise and things like that. So it's really that type of progressive guitar music that I really like. Yeah, it can be sort of repetitive and looping, especially like on side two here. Some tape delays, somewhat lo-fi. I would say not as much as a band like Woo. I think it is for the most part fairly well recorded, and even reminds me a little bit like on side one of the guitar work of Heldon and Richard Pinhas. Maybe not quite as sort of menacing, but imagine like a more pastoral Heldon. Anyway, this one has been reissued recently. Should be widely available. The Same. This is on. Who label is this on? This is on Unlikely Records, which was Robert's own label. So next, he went to, his next project was this band called Remembera, a band that I was made aware of when the reissue label Freedom to Spend reissued all of these. I think all the records. There's only, well, maybe not all of them, but at least a couple of them. This one is from, what is this one? From 1983. So now you can tell from the artwork, right, we're really getting into that fourth world sort of philosophy, transportive music, percussive again, but, still with some of the guitars that he's using in a percussive way as well. And I purposely didn't play any music on this video. I want to stream all of these records, and maybe I'll even do it tonight, just so there's a better way, I think, to enjoy this band is to actually listen to all the records. But these are really cool. They're screen printed, kind of oversized. Most of these you always see them sort of bent on top because they're sort of oversized in that direction, and they do fold out and have these really interesting sort of abstract screen printed things, and the thing actually does fold the whole way like that, so it's one of those sort of jackets like that. And, again, not a whole lot of information here on the jacket on this one, other than again, so this is on his own label. This is on Cordelia Records. So Cordelia is a small, independent UK label. I forget the guy that runs it, and you guys might be more familiar with some of the bands that the founder of Cordelia Records was involved with. But anyway, so that's the first record on from the Remembera project. This is the second one. Again, very similar artwork. This one actually came on this label, Unlikely Records, which again, I believe, that was Cox's own label. So again, you could order the records directly from him through that flyer. Yeah, and again, a lot of the same sort of sounds on these, and hopefully you guys will be able to listen to them on the stream. Beautiful, again, screen printed gatefold artwork here. Generally sort of short. In a way, maybe a little bit different than some of the fourth world, records that Fred was showing, where a lot of times you have, very long pieces. Here you're talking about much shorter sort of vignettes, 11 songs on side 1 and 6 on side 2. So sort of shorter, bite-sized snippets, and these were, I can't remember the other one, if that one says what the pressing run was. This one says limited to 400 here. So, these have become fairly collectible, but they're still around, and again, they've all been reissued pretty recently and should be widely available. The third of the 4 Remembera records is this one, In the Woods. Again, still keeping with that nature motif. This one is actually recorded in California, at least in part. It says by Lenny Bove in California. It doesn't say exactly where in California. And again, this one is on his own imprint, Unlikely Records, out of Felixstowe in Suffolk, UK. This one on just a traditional type of jacket, no more screen printed stuff, but still really cool photography on that. The fourth record by Remembera, this one's called Chicago Death Excretion Geometry. very wild title there. And yeah, this one, for the first time you see in the liner notes like a lot more information and sort of a lot more, just kind of going into his philosophy. It even talks a little bit about sort of the math behind some of the, music theory behind some of these songs. There are flutes, horns, and oboes on this one, which does distinguish it from the other ones that are more guitar and percussion based. Especially, of course, I should have mentioned. Of course, it's in the name, but yeah, a lot of marimbas on all of these records, which is one of the reasons that I really enjoy this band. So yeah, kind of a very interesting. I haven't read these notes in a while, but yeah, definitely. You can also tell from the photograph, kind of going for something a little more academic. Maybe just going for something a little bit more structured, maybe a little bit more experimental, but within a specific, musical and sort of mathematical framework. There's the label there. That's a custom label, and I will show the Cordelia label. I'm not much of a label, fetishist. I generally don't pay too much attention to the label designs, but this one is pretty cool, and I think I've showed that maybe before. That's for the Cordelia label, for the ones that are on that label. So yeah, that's it. Robert Cox, a couple of great bands out of the UK, and I should have mentioned, basically from about 1981. The last one dates to 1987. So yeah, this one's from 1987, and the other two obviously in between. So yeah, definitely check out this band again if you like things like Woo, things like even like the Penguin Cafe Orchestra, things like that are sort of instrumental, mysterious, evoking some of those fourth world themes that Big Star was talking about recently. Anyway, that's about all I have, and stay tuned, and maybe we'll listen to these records. Thanks.